Ottawa cyclist fatally struck by a school bus in Quebec. A 36-year-old life lost as several students were being driven home in Chelsea. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. The drive home from school was far from average for some Chelsea, Quebec kids. The school bus they were on struck a cyclist yesterday, and today we're learning the 36-year-old man from Ottawa did not survive. CTV's Natalie Van Roy joins us with the latest. Natalie.
Stefan, I spoke to a witness who works only meters away from where the collision happened. She was too shaken up to go on camera, but says that she heard the crash, then ran over to help with colleagues, where many people in the area were trying to help the cyclist. She tells CTV News that first responders were there within minutes. Now, the man was cycling on this hill across Route 105 when police say he turned east at a traffic light where he was hit by the northbound school bus while turning. Police say the cyclist was wearing a helmet. He was transported to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Investigators are still looking into whether it was safe to turn and what color the light was at the time of the crash.
Any fatality is a horrible tragedy, which only reinforces the need for increased safety education. When you consider that motorists getting licensed to drive, there's nothing in their exam that touches cycling and sharing the road, and that needs to be addressed.
Now, it was quiet at the intersection Friday afternoon. Police say around 15 to 16 high school teenagers were on the school bus at the time of the crash, but no one was injured. Now, investigators say drugs or alcohol don't appear to be a factor in the collision. Police say a coroner examination is currently underway. Stefan.
CTV's Natalie Van Roy reporting live for us. Thank you, Natalie. Ontario Provincial Police are providing updates today on a woman found dead in Calabogie earlier this month. Investigators now believe she was murdered. 61-year-old Geraldine Fulcher's body was found on Lanark Road in Greater Madawaska Township on the evening of May 6th. Police say an autopsy determined her death was a homicide, but no details on how she died have been provided. Anyone with information is being asked to contact Renfrew OPP. Back here in Ottawa, a man is being treated for life-threatening injuries after he was struck by a vehicle on Highway 417. The westbound lanes of Highway 417 were closed at Bronson Avenue after police responded to reports of a collision involving a pedestrian. Ontario Provincial Police say 2 vehicles were involved in the crash, which happened in the westbound lanes. The pedestrian was located in the eastbound lanes. Police are looking to speak with the driver of this truck, who investigators believe was in the area at the time of the incident. Police say the driver may not be aware of the incident. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Ottawa OPP. In other news, OC Transpo General Manager Rick Leary is promising to outline current vacancies in frontline positions on buses and the O-Train next month. This follows last weekend's shutdown of 2 O-Train lines. O-Train Line 1 and 4 were suspended Saturday night due to a shortage. The union says OC Transpo only has 75% of rail positions filled. In a memo to council, Leary is promising incremental improvements to service as resources stabilize, and he is working with union leaders to support staffing levels. While many may want to consider taking the LRT this weekend to avoid the road closures associated with Ottawa Race Weekend, thousands will be pounding the pavement with different goals as they work to cross the finish line. As Josh Morano is about to tell us, many could be seen picking up their kits today. Josh.
Yeah, Stefan, it's one of Ottawa's biggest spring events, with more than 40,000 participants expected across a full weekend of racing through the capital. From the 2-kilometer fun run to the full marathon, thousands of runners will hit Ottawa's streets this weekend. Organizers say the event continues to grow, drawing people from across Canada and beyond. The weekend also brings a big boost to hotels, restaurants, and local businesses, while raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for local charities.
It means a lot for the city because a lot of the tourism dollars, the people coming from out of town, there's over 16,000 people who come from out of town come here, and also just, for the city itself, it just brings sort of a lot of energy for the kickoff of the spring.
The Race Expo and Big Bib Pickup continue at Carleton University through Friday, with races taking place Saturday and Sunday, including the 5K, 10K, and the half and full marathon. So a very busy weekend, a lot of road closures. Organizers are encouraging the public to check route maps when they head out this weekend. Stefan.
CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us. Thank you, Josh. This morning, the Ontario NDP announced plans to introduce a motion aimed at making groceries more affordable for families in the province. While many things at the grocery store like fruits, vegetables, dairy and raw meat are not taxed, this motion would take it a step further. The NDP would like to see the HST removed on prepared food like a grab-and-go rotisserie chicken as well.
Increasingly, people are working harder, longer days. They're going to pick up, maybe a little fried fish, some noodles, a few things to help make it a little easier when they get home to feed the family. This is what this is going to impact the most.
NDP leader Marit Stiles says the motion would save families hundreds of dollars and prevent big companies from blocking competitors. A new Liaison Strategies poll finds the Progressive Conservatives and Ontario Liberals tied among decided and leaning voters. The number suggests if a provincial election were held today, the PCs and the Liberals would each receive 37% of the vote. Meanwhile, the Ontario NDP sits at 20% support, with the Green Party at 4%. The cost of living is the top issue for Ontarians, with a majority saying the cost of groceries and housing was causing the most financial stress. Over in Gatineau, getting a job as a young adult could soon be a little easier. Quebec has a new program to help young adults find their first job. It offers financial support to small and medium-sized businesses as well as nonprofits to new graduates. The subsidy can last up to 16 weeks and covers up to half of a minimum wage salary. In the meantime, some youth in Ottawa's Glebe neighborhood may be looking to make some money tomorrow. The annual Great Glebe Garage Sale is set to see thousands infiltrate the area for cheap finds and vintage treasures. If you're heading down, brace yourself for a traffic trifecta with closures for race weekend, events at Lansdowne, and heavy traffic expected starting early in the morning for the 40th annual sale. Many looking forward to shopping and selling.
Getting ready, 100%.
Every year for 40 years it's been going on, and everyone's always managed to get around. No reason to think they can't this year.
It's a whole lot of people. The streets are crazy. I don't recommend driving here, but it's really a lot of fun.
This year, there are new road closures to be mindful of. There will be road closures on 2nd and 4th Avenues between Lyon and O'Connor from 6 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And several of the side streets off Bank will be local traffic only.
We're renovating the country as we go, and Alberta being at the center of that is essential.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, Parliament Hill may have some persuading to do as the province of Alberta ponders a separation referendum. We'll have the latest on that in just a few minutes. Right now, though, let's take a look at the forecast. It's 19 degrees out there under clear skies, a very comfortable temperature, and very similar conditions right across the region. High teens in most municipalities on the map. Gatineau sitting a degree higher than us at the moment at 20 degrees. Here's a live check on traffic. Carling at Woodruff in front of Carlingwood Mall. There's a crash there. There's also a collision at Riverside and Hunt Club. But taking a look at the highways, the 417 westbound is seeing about a 30-minute delay on this Friday from Parkdale to Pinecrest. Eastbound, a 10-minute delay from the 416 to Woodruff. You're watching CTV News at 5.
Exploring Larizon Kitchens with Corey Larizon. This is the craziest workstation ever. It's an L-shaped sink.
Yeah, 4 feet by 4 feet, L-shaped galley workstation, an entertainer's dream.
Okay, this is more of a classic look. And as we move through the model showroom here, we get to a contemporary kitchen. This is a table height bar.
Yeah, it's incredible. We just try to show as much range for clients. Anything from push to open to, like you said, table height islands.
Technology you didn't even know existed. LarizonKitchens.com.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Ottawa traffic is often at a standstill in several parts of the city at this time of day, but drivers say the western stretch of the Queensway is getting out of hand. Today's radio question of the day asks, how has Highway 417 construction affected your commute?
And I understand that there are different levels of government at play at each of these construction projects, but at some point you have to triage and think of the constituents. So if there's a way to triage and prioritize and just delay a project until something else is done, we have to have options, and we have none right now. And so that is why we're all getting really fed up.
Christy Cameron is here with more, and I feel as though many people or drivers, at least in Ottawa, share those sentiments.
Absolutely, because they've been living these closures for about a week now. The closures went into effect last week, and since then, some commute times, I'm told by our listeners, have doubled. The commuter fury can be felt. People were calling in today. Kate lives in Bell's Corners, others from Carleton Place, others from Carlingwood, Canada. And they're saying that they're losing time on the highway. They're late for appointments. They're late picking up their kids. It's eating into family dinner. It's to the point where one of my guests told me that he was at an event last night and he had his phone out and he was refreshing. And somebody said, "What are you doing?" He was looking at Google Maps repeatedly. I thought that was an anxious thing that I did because I live in the West End and I do the same thing. But this is the reality. These closures are having a big impact and they're expected to drag on until the end of July. Now, we heard from the mayor today via statement that he's going to try and speed it up a little bit. But he provided no details on how that was happening. Right. Is it crews working overnight? Is it crews working longer hours? That's expensive, maybe worth it in this case, because we have so much construction going on at once.
And lingering construction, it just keeps moving, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the construction of LRT, we went through years of that, and we know that what we're seeing on the Queensway is associated with that as well.
The detours are also problematic. I had Teresa Kavanagh on the show today. Yeah. She represents Bay Ward. It was so bad, she wrote to the chief of police because people are detouring through some of her neighborhoods and they're driving erratically. They're turning right at stop signs they shouldn't be. There was a woman in one of these neighborhoods out this morning with her own handmade sign telling drivers, please don't turn right here. It's unsafe. I think that really speaks to how people are feeling. Yeah. You know, whether you're on the Queensway or you're living in these neighborhoods, we've got one channel to cross the city. To reduce it by one lane in both directions is a big deal.
Sense of desperation. Thank you, Christy. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6, and now watch Christy anytime on YouTube. Subscribe to the News Talk 580 CFRA channel. There is widespread reaction to Alberta's separation referendum, and things are starting to heat up. The Prime Minister commenting on the fallout today as Alberta's Premier defends the question being put to voters. CTV's Rachel Aiello has the latest.
Facing the prospect of Albertans voting to separate from Canada. Today, the Prime Minister said the country, much like the Parliament Hill renovations he toured, is a work in progress.
Canada's working. We're working in a spirit of cooperative federalism to make the country better. We're renovating the country as we go, and Alberta being at the center of that is essential.
The question Albertans will be asked on October 19th is a wordy one. Should Alberta remain a province of Canada, or should the government of Alberta commence the legal process required under the Canadian Constitution to hold a binding provincial referendum on whether or not Alberta should separate from Canada? Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said he and his party will fight for a united country.
We're going to reach out to Albertans in every corner of the province to make the case for our wonderful country, and we're going to do it through hope. We want Albertans to understand that they can have an even better future in our country.
While Premier Danielle Smith has insisted she's committed to a united country, the NDP's sole Alberta MP accused her of stoking division.
She made a choice to put that referendum question on the ballot, and I think it's a huge, huge mistake. This is not what Albertans need right now.
The Premier of Canada's most populous province also didn't hold back.
I'd never do it. Premier Smith knows how I feel. She wants to, I guess, protect her 30% base. It's not going to win, as far as I'm concerned. It'd be a disaster for Alberta.
The federal opposition voices we heard from today said that while all sides need to fight for Alberta to stay, Ottawa also has to swiftly address Albertans' legitimate economic concerns beyond building a pipeline, because much like the Centre Block renovations, that is going to take years to complete. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, the Ottawa Charge hang up their skates for the season. More from the players and coach a little later. Here's what else you need to know. Shop local at the Carp Farmers Market this Saturday at Carp's Agricultural Fairgrounds. It's the largest producer-based farmers market in Eastern Ontario with more than 100 vendors. It runs from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. Here's another live check on traffic. The 417 westbound seeing about a half an hour delay from Parkdale to Pinecrest. Eastbound is moving fairly well in comparison at this time. The 174 eastbound seeing about a 5-minute delay from Blair to Jeanne d'Arc. Speaking of alternate routes in the West End, heavy traffic on Island Park Drive between the 417 and Champlain Bridge. We'll be right back.
Exploring Larizon Kitchens with Corey Larizon. We're not in a kitchen.
I know, we're standing here in a laundry room. At a Larizon, we can do anything from mud rooms, laundry rooms, you name it, we can do it if it's a cabinet.
A pull-out drawer, and it's actually a hamper. That's a great idea.
And we have another space-saving idea.
A drying rack. How incredible. Beautiful colors on the cabinets as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the sky's the limit with colors we have, and it's all right here, 183 Colonnade Road South.
And if you have an idea, they can make it happen.
Coming up tonight on CTV after the 6 o'clock newscast, E-Talk starts at 7, The Big Bang Theory at 7:30, Celebrity Jeopardy at 8, W5 Avery Haynes Investigates at 9, and Boston Blue at 10. Now for another check on the weather, let's head outside. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The temperature right now is 19 degrees. We've seen mostly sunny skies today. Let's take a look at our satellite radar picture. You can see that it's been clear for most of the day, maybe some cloud coverage in the Bancroft area earlier this morning, but tonight we will see clear skies continuing. 5 degrees for the low in Ottawa. Sunshine tomorrow for the Great Glebe Garage Sale and for Ottawa Race Weekend and all the activities taking place in the city. 21 degrees for the daytime high. Taking a look in the valley, very similar conditions. 5 degrees overnight, sunny tomorrow with a high of 20. And as we take a look at the Seaway, clear skies overnight, slightly warmer at 8 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, but a little cooler for the daytime high at 17 degrees. Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast now. Again, a beautiful Saturday. Enjoy it because we're pretty much guaranteed rain on Sunday. It's marathon day for those racers pounding the pavement for Ottawa Race Weekend, so they will be cooled off by some showers. 14 degrees for the daytime high. Very different than what we've seen in years past where it can be too hot for runners at times. This time it might be a little on the cooler side. 12 degrees for the low, so we're staying in double-digit territory for the overnight lows for the next few days. Monday, a chance of showers, 40% there to start off a new work and school week. 21 degrees for the daytime high. Things heat up nicely headed towards the middle of the week. 25 on Tuesday and 26 on Wednesday.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Tree. Complete tree care from start to stump.
I think we're going to continue to see upward pressure on prices.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, drivers getting a bit of a break at the pumps this weekend. We'll tell you how much you could save per liter shortly. Here's what else you need to know. One of Ottawa's most beloved community traditions is back this Saturday. The Great Glebe Garage Sale is happening throughout the Glebe from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, maybe a little later. Search for treasures on lawns, driveways, porches, and in local shops. And keep in mind that traffic might be thick in that neighborhood.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. The temperature, 19 degrees. It's time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock. Time to get moving.
It means a lot for the city because a lot of the tourism dollars, the people coming from out of town, there's over 16,000 people who come from out of town come here.
Tamarack Ottawa Race Weekend is here. Runners are ready to take over the Capital's core. Tonight we'll feature one participant who carries a rich family history with him as he hits the course.
For a better city, for a better community, and for a better future for all the youth we come in contact with.
A financial boost aimed at keeping kids away from crime. Details of new funding that will help a local program expand into schools and communities.
Our officers are designated as screening officers under the Quarantine Act and are well trained in the event that a traveler displays any symptoms of illness.
And the latest on Ebola, the World Health Organization warns the outbreak is worsening as Canada faces tough questions about travel restrictions. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now for the final 5 other stories we're following today.
All this week we've been talking about prices dropping as a result of what could be a clearing in the Strait of Hormuz.
There is some relief for drivers at the pumps to kick off the weekend. Prices fell by roughly 9 cents overnight. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTagg says the cost of gas is expected to drop another 4 cents tomorrow. That would bring prices down to roughly $1.80 at most Ottawa stations. A new ruling from the CRTC means digital streamers will soon have to pay more for Canadian content. The move means online streaming services like Netflix or Disney Plus will have to contribute 15% of their Canadian revenue to Canadian content, up from 5%. Meanwhile, traditional broadcasters will see their amount lower down to 25%. The CRTC says the changes will amount to $2 billion in funding. However, some U.S. politicians claim the policies discriminate against American companies.
Yeah, it's not easy. I think, like Rebecca said, this was a really special group, and I think if you asked every one of us, we'd love to just go back at it together next year. There's so much that we're taking away from this year that we're incredibly proud of and we have been rewarded for.
The Ottawa Charge held a news conference this morning wrapping up their successful season. Even though they didn't win the Walter Cup, the team said they are proud of themselves for making it that far. The Ottawa Charge fell to the Montreal Victoire 4-0 Wednesday night, losing the Walter Cup opportunity. And it's a busy sports weekend in Ottawa with several teams in action. The Ottawa Titans host Sussex County for a 3-game series this weekend at the Ottawa Baseball Stadium. On Saturday, the Ottawa Rapid FC hosts Montreal FC at 1 p.m. at TD Place. At 7 p.m., the Blackjacks host Montreal at TD Place. On Sunday, Atletico Ottawa faces Forge FC at 2 p.m. at TD Place. Very busy.
The action, the passion, and also all the fans are amazing.
And some Ottawa residents will be heading east towards Montreal this weekend. That city set to come alive with celebrities and race car enthusiasts. The Canadian Grand Prix officially begins today. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join Patricia Bull for CTV News at 6. The early edition of CTV National News starts right now.